Just want to let you guys know that we have a new channel out called Meaty Magic. If you like Magic the Gathering content, you can go there and subscribe. If not, go yourself. Enjoy the video.
Long ago, when the pyramids were still young, Egyptian kings played a game of great and terrible power. But these shadow games erupted into a war that threatened to destroy the entire world, until a brave and powerful pharaoh lost.
Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on and sit on down because today we're talking about trading card games. Mostly the tournaments, the people, the fandoms. And let me tell you guys, trading card games is not what it used to be. It used to be something, it's a lot like what I imagine like D&D is, right? And all of a sudden you have that Eddie Munson guy from Stranger Things, and now girls finger their thinking about D&D. It's not what it was back in the day. It used to buy that stuff in private. You play with your boys, and then you would feel really embarrassed, and you'd feel kind of gay if somebody caught you playing it. But TCG trading card games have experienced a remarkable surge in popularity over the years, mostly through the pandemic of people hoarding cards, not only for content, but big pulls, right? Franchises like Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Digimon's back? I would have never expected. Yu-Gi-Oh! And even the One Piece card game is seeing a bunch of love right now. And yes, even MetaZoo, they're not even around anymore, did contribute to the growth of the trading card games. I love that one story you told me of the guy being like, what the hell am I supposed to do with all my MetaZoo cards now? But much of this increased interest can be attributed to the pandemic, when people had extra stimmy funds to spend on crack and packs. Instead of spending it on bills and water and food, people were like, I'm gonna get a Pokemon pack of cards and then I'll flip it and have even more stimmy money. But then you also had high profile individuals like Logan Paul and Post Malone entering the TCG collecting scene, which further fueled the unboxing craze. I mean, you had Logan Paul, I think he even had like a case that he wore around his neck when he was in the WWE. He like pulled a Charizard, it was like a Pikachu thing, or
Pikachu art. He bought it for 5.3 million.
5.3 million.
And then he did something where you could basically, he sold 51% of it.
Yeah, you like own part of it.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. And then Post Malone has so much fuck you money that he's basically like, also like Wizards is just like, what'd you say? I had some help. It ain't. You want a custom card? We'll do it for. I don't care. And then there was the Lord of the Rings set, and the guy pulled the One Ring. There was a very special card called the One Ring. It was a 1 of 1. It was the most expensive Magic card ever, and Post Malone bought it for like $2 million, $2.2 million, or something like that. Now he just has. I had some help. I made the bottom out myself. Don't act like you. But one might think it's all about collecting cards and treating them like stocks of gold, right? But at its core, these card games are meant to be played. And beneath the layer of casual play lies a competitive tournament scene with its own darker and slimy underbelly. And this is where the real shit is. If you're sitting there and you're just like, I'm cracking some packs because we just like it. I'm doing a stream later if you guys want to come by and watch me crack some packs. I hope I pull a Charizard. That you want to talk to the people going to a fucking strip mall card shop, playing tournaments. Everyone smells like hell, and it's like being. I would attribute it. This is gonna be a bold statement to say, but I would attribute it to trench warfare in World War I. I would say which one's worse. I don't know. Dying of toxic gas or sitting next to a morbidly obese guy with back pimples eating Taiwanese food right out of a wet styrofoam. Oh my god, one of those styrofoam containers. You know what I mean? He's just like, what'd you do? And he's just sweating profusely. Like, fuck, it's horrible. So, let's take a look at the strange and stinky world of trading card games. Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to say it, but as with all good things in life, there are stereotypes of the trading card game player or the trading card game itself. Nerdy games such as this tend to bring out a lot of strange characters to public events and often attach negative stereotypes to the trading card communities. So this is where people sit there and they're just like, I'm not very social, right? They're social butterflies here, right? Just all they do is talk. My God. But first I want to talk about, most of them are found to be rather gross and pretty stinky. It's easy to look at them, right? It's easy to have eyes and a nose, right? The longest running complaint against almost every trading card player is that they have a reputation for being incapable of basic hygiene, unable to wash themselves, wipe properly. I have that problem sometimes. You know, I had a whole thing about people saying that I had no idea. How do you wipe? What do you do with your toilet paper?
So I grab 3 sheets and then I fold it in half.
So you do a fold?
Yeah, fold.
I've had some people say they fold or they wrap around their hand and it's a nice smooth thing like that.
The toilet paper.
Well, let me tell you something. What I do, I barely take any off of it and I bunch it up like that. And then I wipe my ass. But apparently I wasn't digging hard enough. All I know is that people were like, that is an inferior way, because my whole thing was that if I bunch the toilet paper like this and I wipe my asshole, then it acts like a tool and it scrapes all the surfaces, versus if it was smooth, it's basically mudding it down in your ass. All I'm saying is I sympathize with these people. They don't bathe, maybe don't wipe good enough, definitely don't brush them teeth. No deodorant, nothing, no clean clothes. The basic hygiene essentials, right?
Stinky farts.
Stinky farts, which if you fart and it doesn't stink, fuck yourself.
I played this one game. I think in 2nd grade, and I had to forfeit because my player was farting too much.
You're at a trading card tournament, and so you forfeited the match because the guy was like,
well, what happened was I was playing, and then my brother
you're like,
it smells awful.
And a lot of new players are absolutely shocked at the smells that come out of local tournaments. I mean, if you better buckle up. It's so bad that a lot of local card shops have had to display signs outside stores urging players to bathe and to wear deodorant before attending events. The store owner has to beg and plead to its customer base, just saying, please put on some Old Spice before you come in, please. Just put on clean socks. But in 2024, a Japanese man recounts his experience at a Yu-Gi-Oh event where he overheard a woman expressing that this was her very first tournament. And already that sentence is gonna end in a different way. He noticed that she left the event early. First off, I want to say, why was he scouting her so much?
I bet he was like, oh, she's so beautiful. I bet she was the only girl.
Like one of the only girls there. He's just like... He noticed that she left the event early, and then he even made a tweet about it later, talking about his frustrations with the aggressive nature of Yu-Gi-Oh players, making it too hard for new players to come in. They're bullying people out of the game, god damn it. His tweet went, I still think, I hope people don't come to hate Yu-Gi-Oh. If you're a man, please be a little bit kinder to women, even if it's just a little bit. It sounds bad to say I'm going easy on you, so if I'm up against a man, I'll beat him to a pulp. No matter if he's a beginner or whatever. When the other person is a woman, hey, if there are more female duelists, there will only be benefits for men. So please support us. So it is, he's like, if it's a woman, I will tip my cap and say, my lady, let's just have some fun and not be competitive. Is that what he's saying? Oh, this guy's a douche. Also, that makes the whole thing about him watching her so much more creepy, doesn't it? Where were you going, my love? Are you leaving so soon? But this post gained a lot of traction, and eventually the woman being referred to in the post found the tweet and responded to it. I saw this because it was circulating, but considering the circumstances, it might have been me, but I left halfway through because I couldn't stand the smell. It's not like I lost or was sad. I like how she's just like, it's a game. I was there because people were shitting their pants, and it just smelled like salty peanut butter and shame. And then no wonder the numbers of female duelists aren't increasing. There are some stinky female duelists. She's like, there's some stinky pussy out there too, boys, don't worry. I like to think if I was a woman, credit card swipe, like that, and I'd say, I play my... Yeah, okay, whatever. According to people who attended tournaments, it is not uncommon for certain venues to have deodorant on hand in case a player is accused of smelling unbearably bad. It has become a common topic of discussion. If you are throwing a tournament, why would you not just spend $40 on the event and just have them be like, bro, you know what I mean? At what point are people like, sorry, That'd
be so embarrassing.
Oh, fuck you. I'd say good. Make it be, because then next time, guess who's gonna shower up? Probably not him. Yeah, I'm not going to learn. He's like mocking you. In the r/Pokemon trading card game subreddit, someone does it always smell this bad? I love that question. Does it? Like eyes glimmering. I played in my first tournament hosted in a game shop yesterday, and once the competitors started coming in, the place really began to stink, like unwashed clothes or something. Mold is what they're saying. I still enjoyed myself, but I felt almost nauseous at times, and it's making me hesitant to go next week. Is this a common occurrence in the TCG world? Why does it have to be this way if so? And some people responded, the first time I walked into a comic/card shop with a tournament going on, it transported me back to grade school gym class when all the kids were just figuring out they smell, except it was adult men, mostly men.
That brings me back because in middle school, I don't think I washed my gym clothes once. The entire year.
Probably, yeah. Just like stinky piss and sweat shorts, whatever. Yeah. I feel like the big thing back then was nobody washed their shit, but then the only thing was like Axe body spray just came out. Yeah. So the people, it's basically just fumigating all the fucking walkers, just like and you like visibly see the axe in the air. Oh, it smells good, dude. And you like throw it back. You know what I mean? It's such bullshit. Yes, this is a normal thing. Lol. I didn't know until I started working at a card shop. Yu-Gi-Oh players tend to be the worst for it for some reason. That is true. That is undeniably true. I worked at a comic shop and we would have on Sundays, we would have Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments and it was the smelliest fucking crowd. Also, they all worked at the Ford factory for some reason. I don't know what it is with Ford hiring meth addicts and fucking Yu-Gi-Oh players, but that's like their demographic. That's all they hire. Dude, you smoke meth? No. You play Yu-Gi-Oh? Oh, yes. Yes, I do. Okay, come on in, please. You want a real spicy story? I'm a tournament organizer at a small local game store, and I had a player arrive 25 minutes late for the tournament that came in and power walked to the bathroom fairly quickly. He comes up to ask if he can still sign up, and I'm like, sure, bud. Go ahead and wait over there. I look over and see that he has poop all over the back of his shorts and legs. I catch him before he sits down. I tell him he's got to clean up. Oh, I did. Oh, trust me, I did. Don't worry. So I had to very loudly argue with a player that had crapped himself in front of over a dozen players that he had not, in fact, cleaned himself. Having to explain that he would need to go home and shower before he'd be allowed back was the icing on the cake. I like how, what kind of cleanup did he do in the bathroom? He probably just like wiped himself off real quick and like didn't even use soap too. He just turned on the sink and he was like, here we go. Some people have to get creative to mask the smell without confronting people and making a scene, which somebody made a post saying, how do you deal with local game store stink? Went to play draft the other night at a local game store, just moved to a new area. I'm pretty sensitive to smells, and it was so rank in there. I couldn't stay. I was thinking of wearing a mask with peppermint oil in it, but I don't want to ostracize myself. He's literally a plague doctor, is what you're saying? Has anyone got any techniques for dealing with this? Edit, I'm in a rural area, and this is the only local game store within 2 hours, so I really want to make it work. Brutal. And then also a Twitter user posted an image from Pokemon Regionals tournament in Baltimore showing a chair with a supposed puddle of piss underneath it. And a debate was sparked about whether or not this was from an energy drink or a player's urine. The ring of liquid suggested it was a drink, but it's insane that the community has gotten to a point where people aren't sure about the truth. It's so weird that it should even be a debate. It should just be, someone probably spilled a drink and someone's like, I bet you it's piss. I bet you at this Pokemon tournament, someone just pissed on the ground and they walked away. And apparently, this is not a one-time occurrence, which a man named Ira Perlman said 3-2 drop at Vancouver after sitting on a chair soaked in someone else's urine for 20 minutes without noticing. Let's go, Pokemon. Seeing this, the piss chair in question was, you can see the chair here. Apparently that was just soaked in piss and he was sitting in it. You think it was one of those things too where you sit down and you ever sit down in a chair and you're like, is this wet? What the fuck is this?
20 minutes?
For 20 minutes though, he's just like, I feel like a lot of people just
smelled it. He's like,
what,
after it's soaked in.
Oh, not only after it's soaked in, but you have to imagine the smell in there to begin with. All the smell is masking it.
Yeah.
So after a while, he sat there and he probably, I wonder if he got up and he was like smelled the cushion or some shit. Oh! It got to the point where Konami and Wizards of the Coast had to come out with new policies for the tournaments that force people to perform basic hygienes, which this is legitimate documentation from the rules now. Subsection 1, right off the bat. Subsection 1, they're just like hygiene immediately. We're not even gonna get to the rules of the game yet. Hygiene. What changed? Like they're just like, what's new with it? This is a new section requiring all persons attending a tournament to be clean and wear clean clothes. Like how before they're just like, we didn't give a f, but it's good. I don't even know why we have to have this in actual documentation. What does this mean? In case you've never heard of that before in your life. If you or your clothing is excessively dirty or bad smelling, you can be penalized. Boys, you're starting to lose points now.
I was gonna say that's gonna get them. Oh, come on!
Oh, my score! Fuck! Not only that, but the epidemic of plumber butt at Magic the Gathering events resulted in a viral series of images posted back in 2014. I feel like a lot of people have seen these. This man and the guy who did this meme walking around, which first off, I gotta say, if your ass crack is out for everybody to see, and in the photos you don't even see your face. I'm just like fuck off, because what's crazy is the man was later banned from Magic the Gathering events for the following 18 months for the stunt. So over a year ban for that. Doesn't that seem kind of excessive? And it was deemed unsportsmanlike conduct. Fuck off, dude. Your whole asshole is out for everyone to see, pimples and hairs and all that shit. Whatever. But what about another one? Next up on our little list of trading card stereotypes is that they're all socially awkward and cringe. This is also a fact. Are these really stereotypes if every single one of them are true?
Some stereotypes are true.
A lot of stereotypes are based on truth, I guess. You know, you have the viral video of the guy playing the game in the card shop and the kid across from him's obviously laughing, whatever. I gotta say, the Yu-Gi-Oh guy, to me, I'm like, that's just, if you're at a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh tournament and you're not doing that, are you even playing the game? Right? I'm doing the whole show and you showed up to a tournament, motherfucker giving you a show.
The best part is the glasses too at the end.
And he points it up and he does. He sits there and even explains that where he's like, yep, just out 9,000 life points. That's what I love. I love it. I fucking love that guy.
Oh. I wish you would. Do it! Come on! Hand trap me! I dare you!
I can't do this.
I bet you
This
won't!
is after the money and pussy got to his head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now he's just loud and people are just like, come on. Which, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh people, there's people who even mimic the game in person, overtly loud, not understanding the social cues of, hey, this might be kind of cringe, but people are kind of giggling nervously and laughing, only adding fuel to the fire of him being like, people must really like this. Or you could just, let's just say they don't even do the show. How about a trading card game player who eats his opponent's cards? Someone at this cup just ate their opponent's lost vacuum and called a judge for deck check. Someone please explain this to someone who doesn't play. Okay, good, because I was thinking the exact same thing. In Pokemon TCG, there's local tournaments known as League Cups that earn you points to qualify for World Championship, so they're held to a higher standard than normal local play. One of these standards is having a deck list submitted before the tournament. If you have an invalid deck list, wrong cards / missing cards, etc., you can get a penalty such as a game loss. The individual ate one of his opponent's cards to make their deck not match the deck list submission, so when a judge checked the deck, it will appear wrong, missing one card and then getting a game loss. God damn, I gotta say, that's a strategy. Check his deck. He's like little bits of cardboard on his mouth. Check it. Check the deck, dude. It's not gonna be matched up. Bullshit. Judge! Another one of these experiences, another time a guy at a regionals would take random moments during the duel to, it's hard to explain, anime formula speech, I guess. It was a goddamn impossible to watch. Absolutely planet splitting. At the end of the day, he tried asking a girl out this way and it went as well as it ever could. Dude, I don't know. I feel like if I was a girl, I'd probably give up a little. I'd give up a little tail if a guy was just like, you are the light of my eyes. You know, because do you think it was like that, or do you think he was just like, I am made for you and you are my rose. I am but a beast and you are my beauty. Another stereotype is that a lot of trading card game players are unapologetically horny, which, sure, much like any fandom, I would say with some trading card, like I'm a big Magic guy and there's a lot of very odd characters who get kicked out of the game for various weird sexual shit, like sexting cosplayers and stuff like that, sending lewd pictures and being like, God, you're beautiful, like harassing cosplayers who show up to, you know, dressed up as characters to these events. And it is common to see hypersexual playmats brought out to local events and tournaments, and it has become quite commonplace. So people show up here. I don't know if we can show this, but basically, if I had to, if this is blurred, I'll just show you that this is some kind of playmat for some trading card game. I don't know which game it is, but it's girls, anime girls, bent over, various ages here, with basically their asshole being split open with their pussy lips kind of spread out from thongs, and they're bent over. The guy just rolled that in front, and he's just like, "You ready to play a game?" You know what I mean? What I don't like about this too is it makes me think that the guy's like, he's chubbed up under the table. You know, I'm glad you killed this one so you could remove it from the den. He's just like, little scratch and sniff. Oh, I can see some guy being like, really? Which you can even say this, and people, you know, we're talking about playmats, but there's also card sleeves. That woman's nipple is just out.
Just say, yeah, that
We have to blur that. Also, there's like bondage porn on this one sleeve. What the fuck is who are getting these sleeves? Good fucking God. It's gotten so bad that Konami had to come out with a new rule banning unofficial playmats and card sleeves for the Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship in 2024. I like how they're like, they have to be ours. They have to be approved by ours. The guy sitting there, he's like, it's like just like a full HD picture of an asshole. He's just like, One of the more major reasons this rule was enforced was to stop people from bringing horny playmats that make the event not suitable for the younger audience that attends these events. Well, dude, time to grow up. I used to go to some card tournaments and this kind of religious dad would bring his son. He's just like, guys, no swearing. I'm like, you brought him to a fucking public place, you idiot. You know what I mean? He's like, he'd do this to his kid. So if somebody was just like, oh, are you fucking kidding me? He'd do
too late at that
to his
point.
kid. Well, I'm like, it's already said. Exactly. And the kid was like this. That was the one time in my life where I was like, this feels like what I would imagine a cuck is. You know what I mean? The guy goes home and he's just like, I went to my first play night at my local card shop the other day, and there was this guy with a playmat that was basically just Nami naked. Is that you, Nick? I kind of want to get you a Nami naked one, dude. You love Nami. Like the one, like the only thing you couldn't see were her nipples. I don't know how these people feel comfortable bringing these things out in public, but I probably won't be going to any more play nights.
Actually, that guy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, good, who fucking needs you there? I hate these kind of posts too, because these are the kinds of things where it's like, right, guys? Right? You can't even see her nipples, dude. What, you can't say have a big-titted woman on a playmat? You're gonna go, how do you feel comfortable with that? Come on.
Oh, you know what? He's probably horned up and it's distracting his play. Yeah. Stop it!
He has to tuck his boner between his thighs and he's holding him. He's just like,
I was gonna say belly button. Like he puts it in the belly button.
He stands up, puts his whole cock in his thing, his gym shorts and whatever, and he's like, I basically cannot play at locals anymore because the person who has the main Connect trading partner, longtime bro, the fuck is this? Are they dating? I found out he fucking knocked up a 16-year-old. Where are we going here? I found out he knocked up a 16-year-old that was where his twin daughters came from. I knew he had them and his ex broke up with him and he told me the truth. I know he goes to locals and the time I can't even fathom looking at him again, so ever since that, whatever. He found out the guy that was casting spells at the table knocked up a 16-year-old had twins. I can't even look at you anymore, bro. You seemed like such a great guy before that. I bet he was a horrendous person before that too, you know what I mean? Meth mouth and all that shit. I don't know what it is with Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon specifically at tournaments, but meth mouth like crazy. Stinky fucking like Fox hoodies, you know, like the motor, like the Pac Sun shit. That kind of shit. Volcom? Bruh. I haven't gone to locals for a while, but the last time I went, this guy who didn't smell very good came into the card shop and decided to keep his hat on. A hat with the word hentai in large metal letters. There was a Pokemon tournament with many young kids and parents right next to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament. Not a pretty sight. What, a guy can't wear a hat? It's the word hentai.
I was gonna say, yeah, kids aren't gonna know what that is.
Yeah, or even if they did, fuck them. A lot of these people just sound like prudes. Don't get me wrong, there is stuff out there, but so far I'm like, this sounds like people who are like, I don't like that. When the guy goes home, he's like, I wish I was brave enough to wear mine. There's some dude that pimps out his wife to players at bigger events for stable cards. Hell yeah. Like she'll suck your for a playset of Lightning Storm or something, or fuck you for a playset of Alibur. I don't know what any of that meant, but that's awesome.
If you don't fucking attack me right now, I'm gonna fucking flip this fucking table on you, I swear to God.
You know, what do we learned so far? Trading card game people are horny, they wear weird hats, they smell bad, and you know, they'll probably hit you up if you're a cosplayer. But there's also a more vindictive side as well. For a very small sect of people, there's a very violent outrage. Like this incident. In Marshfield, Missouri, at a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament on July 9th, 2024. This year happened recently. Holy hell. Haven Buckart was charged with first-degree burglary, possession of a controlled substance, attempted stealing, and fourth-degree assault. But what really happened? There are 5 minutes left in the round. Haven and his opponent, Jordan, are in the game 3 of their match, which is probably the last game. Unlike Magic, when the time runs out, Yu-Gi-Oh! Gives the person with the higher life total the win. Jordan plays and passes his turn to Haven. Then, it appears. Haven begins to slow play, with 3 minutes left on the clock. Son of a bitch. Jordan asks him to play faster. Haven responds,
Nah, you can shut the fuck up though.
Jordan accuses him of slow playing. Haven says,
Well, how about I punch your teeth out instead?
Jordan begins to call 911. Others around call the head judge over to defuse the situation. This causes Haven to stand up and attempt to leave. But first, he wants his prize pack, which the rest of this is summarized in a post here.
At this point, Jordan feels threatened as Haven also starts to stand up and calls 911. Players are calling for the head judge to come over to attempt to defuse the situation. Haven walks over to the register, turns the playmat he was borrowing and says, Give me my prize pack now! To which Victoria, the lady running the counter, unaware of what's happened, says, Well, I'm about to do prizes here in a moment. The store owner, Jason, has now been informed of the situation and has to come over to attempt to figure out what has happened and is asking Haven questions. Haven is very aggressive. I didn't hear the full conversation, and Jason says, Listen, you are hereby banned from this store, our second store's location, and I never want to see you step foot in here again! Haven demands his pack. Like that's just all about. He's like, give me my fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Pack! Jason tells him that he isn't gonna get it, to which Haven puts his hand on Jason to push him out of his way and attempts to reach for the prize support pile. Jason, mind you, who is ex-military, as soon as Haven put his hand on him in an aggressive manner, grabs him and says, You need to leave now before this gets worse. They proceed to spin basically in a circle where Jason finally says, "You done f***ed up now, mother." It picks up Haven and slams him into the floor to detain him. Haven is all, "Oh shit, you just assaulted me." And they stand up and Haven starts to raise his fist like he's gonna swing. And as he does, 3 cops walk in, see the situation, and tackle him to the floor and take him out in handcuffs. But there's more. As the officers are escorting Buckhart to the patrol car, they see someone inside of Haven's car and identify him as someone with warrants out for the arrest for failure to appear for tampering with a motor vehicle. Fucking Yu-Gi-Oh, dude, I'm telling you. Before they're about to drive Haven Buckhart to the station, he tells them that he's overdosing on
Gamerceps.
saying that he used
Gamerceps.
30 to 45 minutes beforehand. He also found 4 grams of cocaine in his wallet, and he is currently in the Webster County Jail with a $50,000 bond. If that's not a way to end this fucking thing, then I don't know what I don't know. Give the fucking lunatic the stupid prize pack. I like how he's just like, "I have honor, and you will not do that in my store. Also, I'm a veteran." Which, listen, here, and this is an important thing to say. No matter what kind of reputation the trading card game community has, these people don't represent everyone. It is the unwelcome minority that happens. These are always the stories that give these communities the reputation, right? I'm sure there's many people out there who smell fine, who don't try finger fucking chicks at tournaments, who don't do cocaine and heroin and assault store owners, you know, but some do. That's just the way the world works. And I just want to say that it's kind of interesting with all of these new waves of people collecting packs. I see it a lot. Like, the content of pack opening is so crazy that it's just so funny to think that people don't even realize that these caves that people go and play these games in, these card shops, they exist, and it is a sight to behold sometimes. But I will say, trading card games are fun, man. You know, I mean, we probably said at the top of this video, but I did even have my own Meaty Magic channel out now for people who like Magic the Gathering content. I love it, and I'll continue to play it. But guess what? You probably won't find me at a local game store. So, until next time, everybody, stay safe, wash your pits, and have some fun. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Shine Knight don't play. He just ain't no joke. He just shines on when he's that knight.